Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My eye is feeling so much better and I'm doing makeup again and I'm so excited. I have another holiday release for you guys. This one is from Tarte. I was really intrigued by this one. I talked about it in one of my purchase or past videos, and it's one of the only holiday sets that I've picked up this year, which is kind of surprising. But this is the new Tartelette Give, Gift, and Get set that comes with 3 mini palettes. I would call them a medium palette because these really aren't that small. They're pretty big. So we have some mini versions of the Tartelette palettes, including the Lil Toasted, the Tartelette Lil Bloom, and then a new one which is Lil Juicy, which I believe they're coming out with a full-size Juicy palette, possibly. I thought I saw that somewhere that it's probably happening sometime. I don't know when, but it seemed like it was a thing. I believe this is limited edition and you can only get them in this set. I really wish they would sell them separately or make them permanent, but unfortunately it is just a gift. But who knows what Tarte will decide later on down the road. But I guess they're kind of ideas that you can kind of give them as gifts or keep all for yourself, whatever. And this is $49. It says a $270 value, which is a bit of an over-exaggeration, let's be honest. That makes each palette about $16 a piece. And there is some repeat shades in here, but there's also new ones. So if you guys have these already, the Toasted and the Bloom, there's actually some newer shades in here, so you can kind of mix and match them with your palette. But there's 18 new shades, and then it says 9 fan favorite shades in like the whole set as a whole. So I'll have to go over which ones are new. I do not have the Tartelette palettes anymore. I think I've decluttered mine like years ago. It's been a while. I don't know. They weren't bad palettes, but I just am always kind of updating my makeup collection and keeping what's trending, what's new in my collection for you guys. That's just kind of how I do my videos. So unfortunately, I don't have those to compare. So let's get into the palettes. Let's start with the Toasted. I remember when this palette came out, a lot of people really didn't care for it, but this is one of their warmer palettes. You guys could see the size. I'll compare it to this Tarte palette. I actually really don't. This is like my only Tarte palette right now, but they're about the same size as the circular ones, just in a square form. So it's definitely more of like a medium palette. So this is what the colors are like in the Lil Toasted. It looks like each palette has just 3 repeat shades. So the repeats in the Lil Toasted are Warmth, which is this one here. Also Flame right in the middle, and then Cozy on the bottom. Those are all repeats that you can find in the original, but the other shades are new. Here is swatches of the Lil Toasted. As you can see, they swatch really nicely. Some of the shades were a little bit hard pressed. I would say the shimmers aren't super soft, but the mattes seem to be pretty good. Next we have the Lil Bloom, which I feel like Tartelette and Bloom is everyone's favorite from the palettes. This is the more cool toned palette in the bunch, some slightly purple tones. Really gorgeous. I thought that each palette would have 3 repeat shades, but I can only find 2 in this one, which is these 2 on the end. We have Funny Girl here, and then Firecracker over here. So I don't think there's any other repeats in this one. Here is swatches for the Lil Bloom. As you can see, some beautiful cool tones. I would say this one definitely swatches a bit lighter, so I don't know if every skin tone this would work for, or maybe best for fair light skin tones, because it is pretty light except for the last shade down there. And then the new one is the Lil Juicy, which, you know, I don't even know what I'm saying with all these repeat shades, because obviously we don't even know which ones in here are repeat shades because they haven't come out with a full size. So maybe just ignore that fact because I guess it doesn't really matter too much. But this is the Lil Juicy. It has a little dandelion here. And this one's kind of a more pinky mauve palette. I love these kind of shades. That's the one I have on the eyes now. And yes, I did do a look with each palette. So here is Lil Juicy swatched. Some gorgeous magentas, purples. Really love the color scheme of this one. Something a little more colorful for Tarte to do, which is nice. So those are the 3 palettes shown. Let's get into the looks. For our first look, we're going to use the Lil Toasted palette because I feel like it would go with my shirt, kind of like the warm neutrals. Let me go ahead and start off with some primer for the eyes. I'm going to use this Too Faced Shadow Insurance just all over because we always prime. I definitely don't plan on wearing any lashes for a bit just because, I don't know, I don't want to mess with the glue and all that with my eyes. So I'm just going to do some, I mean, you can still make a really glam look with mascara. In my opinion, you don't always need lashes, and these are more neutral palettes anyway. So we're going to do something fun with this one. Let's go into this cream shade called, I think, Bundled Up. We're setting the eye primer with this one. Oh, this smells good too. Next, we're gonna go into this shade, which is Flicker. And we'll put this into the crease. I'm noticing some powder kick up with these palettes, but the pigment seems to be really good, and blendability is great so far. Let's do a little bit of this red called Warmth. Well, I think this one is Blaze. I'm kind of confused when I look on here because I'm like, okay, what one's what? I could be totally wrong with the names because I could be reading them backwards. So just ignore me. We'll just go by color. I'm just going to use the same brush and we'll go into this dark shade. We're going to put this in the outer corner. And it blends beautifully. And I think I want to do a halo eye for this look. So I'm just kind of tapping that on to really build the pigment. And then we're just going to take that in the inner corner as well. And I blend into the crease too. I'm going to take this shade again and we'll smudge this on the lower lash line. And it has a little bit of that dark color too mixed in. I think I want to use this gold. That looks gorgeous. So I'm just going to use that with my finger. Let's see if this color will be good. I think it will be good. Let's see. I'll just place that in the center for a pop of shimmer. Once we have the color placed, I'm going to take this same brush that has some of that purple on it and just blend those edges out. I think I'm pretty satisfied with how that looks. I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of my makeup on, which we'll see a drastic difference here, and show you guys the look I came up with using the Little Toasted palette. Alright guys, here's the look I came up with the Little Toasted. Had to go with a dark lip. This is Ofra's Brooklyn liquid lipstick, and I think it looks so good with this eye look. Really like how this came out. I felt like the colors were very easy to blend. Sometimes doing halo eyes, it can be a little tough because I just feel like my eyes look so dark in the corners, but I thought this one was nice. These darker shades do blend out a bit much. Like I would like the pigment to stay there instead of blending away, but I did run my brush over it quite a few times, so that could be it as well. But overall, I really like how this look came out. Definitely one of my favorites for fall. I think it's gorgeous. Alright guys, lighting might be a little bit different. I'm going to do the second look with the Lil Bloom palette. It is evening time now, so yeah, it might be a little bit darker. For this look, we're going to go ahead and take this middle shade, Sweetheart, in the crease. Also use a little bit of this cool tone shade as well. It's like a cool gray, and build that in there. This palette is quite a bit lighter in tone, and it's a little bit harder for these shades to kind of even show up on the eyes. Next, I'll take this dark shade in the palette, it's a deep brown, and put this in the outer corner. I lightly wet this brush, and I'm going to take this bronzy shade onto my lower lash line. Wetting my brush again. On the lid, we'll go ahead and use this kind of rose gold pink. So that's pretty much it for this look. We didn't have any fallout, but I would say the shades are definitely lighter toned. Like they definitely take some building up. They blend out nicely, but this is definitely a light, natural look. So I'm going to add the rest of my makeup and I'll be right back. So here's how the whole look with the Tartelette Lil Bloom palette came out. I wasn't sure about it at first, but now that I keep looking at it in the mirror while I was doing my makeup, I'm like, you know what? This is really pretty. It's just a very seamless, easy look. Yeah, some of the colors took a little bit of building up, but overall, It's really pretty. And the lipstick I picked out with the eyes is MAC's Touch lipstick, which I think is gorgeous. That is it for this look. Let's get into the next. Alright, on to the final look, which I'm probably most excited to use this palette since it is the new one. And this is the Lil Juicy, which is kind of pinky mauve tones. Beautiful. Alright, so let's go all out pink. We'll take this shade first, which is kind of a rose shade. This shade is pretty pigmented. Next, I'm going to take this kind of mauve and also build that in the crease. Next, we'll take this deep burgundy in the outerish corner. I'm going to use that mauve again on the lower lash line. I will go ahead and take this gold and we're going to place this on the lid. This is how it looks just with a dry brush with the shimmers, if you're curious. And let me show you adding a wet brush. It'll just pop it a little bit more. So this is how the eyes look for the Lil Juicy palette. I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup so you can see the full look I put together. And this is the look we came up with for the Lil Juicy palette. Super pretty. I did a lot of pinks, the pink blush. We got the Kylie Cosmetics Cocoa K on the lips, which I forgot was super drying. I haven't worn this in a while, but I thought it would complement the eyes. Guys, into my final thoughts here, testing these Lil Minis out. So far, I'm actually pretty impressed with this. I forgot to mention earlier, but these are all made in the USA, which is very unusual for Tarte to do for a holiday collection. So I think they kind of learned their lesson. They got bashed a bit from like previous years for always doing made in China stuff, but yeah, these are made in USA just like their other palettes, so I do feel like they are decent quality. Do I think it is up to par though to some of their other palettes? I'm not sure. I really wish I had the other ones to compare, like the full sizes, but the one I can compare it to, which is my favorite Tarte palette of life, this is the Love, Trust, and Fairy Dust palette from them, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Lil Juicy palette, but I don't know. I do feel like the formula in this one is better, and this came out a few years back, so it is older. And yeah, it's my favorite formula from Tarte. I feel like the mattes aren't super powdery. Like these had quite a bit of powder kick up in them, but they were very easy to blend, but the powder kick up didn't like leave fallout all over my face because I did make sure to tap my brush off. But sometimes loose shadows like that are much easier to blend, but I do feel like these kind of stick a bit more, and the shimmers are a lot softer and I feel like more metallic looking, while these are kind of hard pressed in the pans, and they aren't like super metallic, but you can definitely get a beautiful shimmer on the lid. So I don't think these are quite as good as this one, but like I said, I don't have the other palettes that these are based off of to compare if it's similar to that. But this is my favorite Tarte formula that they've done. But overall, yeah, these are pretty good. I would recommend them. Do keep in mind, though, that I feel like Tarte in general is a more natural makeup brand. So they're not going to be coming out with no crazy colors, stuff like that. They're good at natural makeup. They make some really good products for that, and it's for those who just want something easy to wear. So I try to keep that in mind when I am reviewing this, because for their brand, and these are very on-brand palettes for them, these are good and up to Tarte, I would say, standard quality. So overall, do I think that you should get these? It kind of depends on your makeup preferences. I feel like people who like to do very natural, no fuss makeup, easy to do, are really gonna like these because you can get really nice color payoff without putting a lot of effort in. Like the colors blended out really nice. They're good for everyday makeup. If you guys like to do more intricate looks, or you're really into bright colors, you probably won't like these. Or if you guys have a lot of palettes, you can probably get these same colors already in your collection because they are pretty basic colors, let's be honest here. So you might not need it, but overall, I'm really impressed with them. I was not expecting much from Tarte because I feel like their past holiday releases have just been very blah, and I feel like these were really nice. I created some really easy looks and they were easy to blend. Just the only issues is the powderiness of the shadows, but that was pretty easy to work around. I think that's basically everything I wanted to say about this set. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. I'm super curious to see if you guys are planning to pick this up or getting it as a gift for someone. I think it's available on Ulta for sure. It might have sold out on the Tarte website already. I'll have to double check, and possibly Sephora, but I will link it down below for you if you want to pick it up. But that's all I have for today's video. Let me know if there's any other holiday releases that you really want a review on from me. I would be happy to do it. I do have the Too Faced Salted Caramel Palette mini coming in, so I could do that soon. And I also bought the Marc Jacobs Cherry Palette if you guys want to see that. But that's all for today's video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.